If you find this video useful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And now back to today's video. So today what we're going to be looking at is how to test for a mod that is in the client. So there is a block under the Advanced tab here. And if we scroll down a little bit, there's one where it says, is the mod with ID? And then there's a string block loaded. So basically what this block does is allows you to check if a mod is installed in that client. So for example, if you're working with support for maybe adding support for a certain mod or something like that, then you would basically go ahead and have to test for that particular mod, and then you could basically run some sort of script based on that. So by default, it's set up for Forge, though I'm pretty sure we're not on Forge anymore. We're on NeoForge. So this will basically return false in this case, but it's basically just a regular logic block. It will return true or false. And basically, if it's true, then you can run something. If it's false, then you can run your default script for whatever your mod is. So I do have a couple mods in this particular workspace. So just for testing for this particular purpose, we have Serene Seasons and we have Glitch Core, which is required for Serene Seasons. So let's go ahead and actually start up the game. And we're going to just save this for the moment, and we're going to get the mod ID. So the easiest way to do that is after you've dropped the mods inside the mods folder, inside your run folder, then what you can do is you can actually go ahead and check, like boot up the test environment and check to see if there is something in there. All right, so if everything's gone correctly, you'll be able to get to the title screen, and assuming that you have the correct version for the version that you're working on. In my case, I actually had a wrong version, so I needed to swap it out with a 1.21.8 version of the mod. So if you crash and says you don't have a certain dependency or something like that, then you'll have to go and find that dependency. But all right, so once we're actually in game, we can go to the mods tab, and under the mods list here, you might have a little bit more mods or less. There will be NeoForge, there'll be your mod, and there'll probably be Minecraft as well. What we're looking for is a mod like this, and under the mod ID right here, it's directly under version. That's the namespace that you're going to actually need to search for. So in this case, it's Serene Seasons. So you can probably just keep this up while you're editing and go and do Serene Seasons like that. Just double check to make sure that it's the correct one. Serene Seasons. Yep. Okay. So that's all we need to do from here. And after we've done that, we can basically do something, for example, like return or print out a message to the player. We'll print out a message just to make it easier. So we'll go ahead and say found mod, and the other one will be no mod. And we can leave it the way it is. That's perfectly fine. So let's go ahead and save that, and then we'll pop it back into game and give this a quick testing game. All right, so we're in game, and if we go ahead and right click on any block, it will tell us what it's basically found. So it basically found just found the mod, and if it didn't find the mod, it would basically go ahead and say no mod, right? So let's go ahead and switch this up a little bit. And we're just going to add a character at the end. We'll do something like 2 or maybe 2 eyes or something like that. So just to kind of separate it a little bit from what it would normally be. And then I'm going to show you basically what happens when it's not the correct registry for the mod. So let's go ahead and go back into game and quickly test this. All right, so we're back in game. Let's go ahead and right click, and it says no mod. So basically if it's the wrong registry, then you won't have the, basically it won't run that part of the script. It's going to run your alternative script. Basically, if you have something like For example, you might have some sort of growth mechanics for your mod, or some sort of mechanics that's built into another mod. Well, if you want to fall back, just in case that mod isn't installed, you could do something very similar to this. You would just test for the registry or the mod ID, and then you would run that script for that particular mod, and if it's not true, then you could basically run your own mechanics and stuff like that, and then that will allow you to have support for that other mod, but still also have something to fall back on, so your mod's not completely broken if it doesn't have that feature. So it's a better way than actually going into your project settings and requiring a mod, because then the client has the choice to actually decide if they want to have that mod or not, right? So the other option, if you really need to actually have the mod installed, like, it's not recommended that you do this, but additional required mods, this is basically what you would add the ID, so Serene Seasons, and basically you would add that to the list here, and that's basically going to require the people to have that mod installed. Now, again, not recommended, because you want to develop around other mods as much as you can without actually being fully dependent on them. So this method right here is actually way better than doing that other method, because then if the mod decides to not update to a certain version or whatever, then you can still just totally bypass that. Your mod will still work, but if you're dependent on that mod, then your mod's not going to be working, right? So it's really important to kind of work around that. But other than that, I hope you've found this video useful. Again, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next time. Thanks for watching. Peace out.